Hello, welcome to this weather update. It's around 1:30. We're going to talk about a bunch of developing things going on right now. First thing I want to talk about is Hurricane Ernesto has strengthened, and very unusual to see a Hurricane Ernesto strengthen at this latitude. It's very unusual to see. So, as of 11 a.m., its location is 41.8 north, 58.5 west, about 320 miles southeast of Halifax, Nova Scotia, about 430 miles southwest of Cape Race, Newfoundland. Maximum sustained winds are 90 miles an hour. It's moving northeast at 28 miles an hour, and minimum central pressure at 968 millibars to 8.59 inches. So it actually has strengthened, which is pretty crazy. They say weakening is forecast. Hurricane force winds extend outward up to 35 miles from the center, and tropical storm force winds extend outward up to 220 miles from the center. So, yeah, very unusual to see this at this latitude. Again, taking a look at the map here, seeing where Ernesto is. We're going to take a look at him on the satellite as well in a little bit. But you can see here, very, very, very unusual to see this happen. And the reason why this is all happening, again, is because of those really warm waters. So let's take a look at the satellite here. We'll take a look at Ernesto, and then we're going to talk about what's going on in our area. But you can see here, this is Ernesto looking very, very healthy still. Look at how far north it is. This is Newfoundland over here, folks. This is crazy how far north this thing is and how strong it is at this latitude. And the reason why it is as strong as it is, if we go and we look at the weather and hazards map here, which we're going to do, and look at some buoy observations as well from this. We're going to look at some sea surface temperatures as well. Let's see if we can find it here. Yeah, water temperature 70 degrees. Look at how far north the water temperature is 70 degrees. In fact, there's another buoy up here. That's not a buoy, but when you can see, this one's reporting a wind gust of 34 miles an hour. Look at the water wave heights up to 12 feet. Water temperature 70-degree water temperatures. This is Nova Scotia over here, folks. 70-degree water temperatures. Something seriously wrong when you see that. That's not normal at all, all right? Yeah, this is what we're seeing from Ernesto. It's pretty crazy. It really is pretty crazy. And you can see we've got the high surf advisories in effect for the Cape. I meant for Maine there. Let's see what we've got here as far as wave heights on our waters go. And look at the water temperature by 75 degrees as the sea surface temperature. Wave heights only 4.3 feet. So it's maxed out yesterday. Now the storm is moving away from us. But, I mean, it's pretty crazy to see. It's absolutely crazy to see this kind of strong storm this far to the north. It's pretty unusual, to say the least. All right. We do have to watch for some thunderstorm development that's occurring over us as well. Again, let me just go to tropical tidbits here for a moment, and we're just going to look at the satellite imagery of Ernesto here. So here we go. We're going to take a look at it. This is Ernesto on the enhanced satellite. Look at that. Look at that thing. I mean, it's now maybe finally starting to weaken a little bit, but man, look at how far north is Newfoundland over here. I mean, this is Nova Scotia over here. That's nuts, man. That is absolutely nuts. So, yeah, that's what's going on. So, now that we got that out of the way, we still got some flood advisories here. What do we got? Coastal flood advisory in effect here? Coastal flood advisory in effect. Coastal flood statement. And it's pretty warm out there. We got 83 degrees at dew point 73 at that's not Farmingdale. Farmingdale Airport, 82 degrees, dew point 70. West wind, and yeah, it's kind of humid out there. And guess what's happening, folks, because of that? We got thunderstorms popping off along a sea breeze frontal boundary. Looks like right around the LIE. There's a thunderstorm right there. And then there's another one over a shower. And let's see any lightning on these. Shower out over looks like that's Wading River. But yeah, really bad situation with the flooding, and that's the next thing we're going to be talking about, obviously. Kind of went over already those storm reports from the Weather Service here. Let's see, they might actually have an updated list now. Yeah, here we go. A road collapsed, Mill Road overflowing. Precautionary evacuation of nearby homes. It started around 3:30 last night. So, let's take a look and see what the rainfall numbers were. And again, I don't really have the rainfall numbers up here. Here we go. Storm total rainfall numbers. So we're going to look at this now. This is as of 11 a.m. Yeah, look at Sandy Hook and Fairfield County. A foot of rain. 12.17 inches. Newton, 10 inches. Shelton, 9 inches. So this is from Connecticut. Some of these numbers are 7 inches. 6 inches Stamford. This is nuts. Absolutely nuts here. New Haven County also pounded. Middlebury, 9.55 inches. In a lot of these areas, 8.09 inches. Waterbury, 5.11 inches. New London County, all right, they didn't get hit as hard in New London. They missed it. Bergen County, only 3.40 inches of rain in North Arlington. I say only. Livingston, only 4.44. Passaic County, Hawthorne, 3.29. Union County, 4.94. Here we go to Long Island. Nassau County, 4.46 inches of rain. North Massapequa, 4.20 inches of rain. Syosset, 3.73 inches of rain. Though I did see amounts that were higher on some of the other stuff. Syosset only 3 inches of rain. I say only because the higher amounts. Let's go look at Suffolk County here. Yeah, how about Sound Beach at 10 inches of rain? 10.18 inches of rain. Miller Place, 9.84 inches of rain. Port Jefferson Station, 9.83 inches of rain. Stony Brook, 9.55 inches. Center Reach, 9.40 inches. Some of these are like, I don't think it's ever rained that much in a lot of these areas. Comac, 8.82 inches. St. James, 7.95 inches. Selden, 7.53 inches. Smithtown, 6.64. Ridge, 6.55 inches. Calverton, 5.48 inches. Orient, 4.58 inches. Riverhead, 4.53 inches. Yeah, these are absolutely crazy numbers. 4.25 inches at Upton. I'll put all these links in the description below. And New Westchester, New Rochelle, only getting 3.88 inches. I say only. This is insane, folks. Insane. So if we go ahead, we look at the map here, and again, I'll put the precipitation on the map. We'll do a 24-hour precipitation here, and yeah, you can see the numbers that we have here on the map here. Some pretty crazy stuff. Again, we went over this last night here. Absolutely nuts. Seems like the hardest hit area was between St. James and Rocky Point, 9.72 here in the Sound. This is just the 24-hour rainfall. All right, I could go show you even more rainfall here. Go up to 36. So yeah, this is pretty nuts. This is nuts. This is absolutely nuts. We've never seen rainfall totals this high. I don't think I've ever seen them. This is outside of a tropical storm. Very, very, very unusual. Very, very unusual. And it was just because this area of thunderstorms just sat over the area for so long and caused so much rain. If we go to the Ventu Sky and we'll do our radar rewind here, which we're going to do, and just show you again what happened this morning actually. So back it up, you'll see these storms are just sitting over Suffolk County for hours and hours and hours and hours, like 3, 4, 5 hours. The storms are sitting over there. It just is absolutely crazy. So we're going to show you some of the damage that has occurred here. News 12 actually has been covering it. We'll go back to this thing here. Take a look at this. This is unbelievable. So we're dealing with road collapses, Stony Brook due to overnight heavy rain and flooding. News 12 finally covered it. I wish they would have started doing live updates. I know it was a little harder than last night, but you know, this was an emergency, and they should have gone live on the air talking about it, even if it was at 1 or 2 in the morning, because they waited. They finally covered it at 5 in the morning. At least they finally covered it. So this is a disastrous situation. Let's go to the latest here. And
communities like the ones that are dealing with flooding and damage from the heavy rain already. One of those areas hardest hit, Stony Brook. News 12 Cecilia Dowd is live there now, giving us the latest on the collapsed road there behind you, Cecilia.
Well, Erin, I can tell you it really is just a mess here. Now, we left our News 12 newsroom at Bethpage a little bit after 8 o'clock and just arrived here on scene because there are so many roads shut down. We saw flooding in St. James on the way here, and you can see behind me, it's an active scene. Now, here joining me is Highway Superintendent Dan LaSquadro. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Can you just tell us what's going on?
Unfortunately, in the early hours of this morning during the height of the rain, Harbor Road, the Mill Pond Dam did collapse earlier today.
Look at that.
As you can see behind us, the pond is completely drained. We are stabilizing the structure right now. We're going to be blocking this road off. Just the engineering is going to take a considerable amount of time. We are in touch with county and state and federal representatives currently, but we expect this not only here, but we're finding damage obviously all over the town to our infrastructure. But this is going to be a prolonged and perhaps years-long recovery and rebuilding effort.
Years long?
Really, with something like this, we're dealing with DEC, EPA. This is tidal wetlands, so the Army Corps of Engineers will have to be involved. I expect the engineering and permitting process probably to be at least a year. Hopefully we can expedite that, working with our state and federal representatives, but this will not be a short-term project. If we can get a temporary structure in place, but again, because of the involvement of fresh and salt water with tidal wetlands, we anticipate this to be a prolonged damage to our infrastructure, perhaps in the tens of millions of dollars. We are only in the assessment phase right now. We're going to move into an engineering phase, and then obviously being the point where we get to apply for state and federal assistance, hopefully through FEMA. The county executive was here earlier, declared this a disaster. We're hoping that the governor does the same and makes us eligible for federal funds.
Yeah.
Now, we saw some cars stuck in feet of water in St. James. Is that an anomaly, or is that happening all over, too?
Unfortunately, state, county, and town roads were inundated in various spots, low-lying areas. This volume of water, 10-plus inches of water, I think at one point we had 6 inches in less than an hour. No system can cope with that.
Yeah.
And the county, state, and town systems were overwhelmed. We saw roads, unfortunately, that were covered. And we always tell people, do not try to drive through standing water.
Okay, so we have to actually wrap this. Thank you so much for joining us, but you heard that warning. Just don't. Yeah,
so really bad situation there. Let's see, we got another story here we can play here. Heavy rain leaves behind trail of damage.
In Center Reach, that is how high the water was at one point, but neighbors tell us at points overnight and into the early hours, it was even higher than this. News 12's Krista McNally joining us in Center Reach right now. Krista, our island is really feeling these effects. Wow.
Yeah, a lot of people feeling the effects here, and like those elderly people that was rescued, children were rescued from this block that I'm standing on in Center Reach. Now, as you can see, crews have been pumping out. Neighbors tell me it's happened since late last night. And if I could just tell you what we're seeing here, the water was extremely high. Many of the people in this block, 6 houses in fact, had water pouring into their homes. And the smell is absolutely horrendous. You can tell we are walking through what is almost pure sewage and oil and water at this point. And the lower that this water is getting, believe it or not, the worse the smell is getting out here. It's almost unbearable to be out on this street. And the people on the street are really trying to save what they can of their home, going out, picking up the garbage, picking up pieces of their fence that have come off, just trying to clean up what has not been destroyed, even though they tell me they have tens of thousands of dollars worth of damage. Take a listen to what one person had to say.
It went in our house, in our basement. This is now the third time it went into our basement. Our water heater, everything is gone. So every year.
This is the kind of damage.
Every year, and the town doesn't do anything about it. They just blow us off.
So apparently that's an issue.
People who live here say this is a recurrence. Every time they hear it's going to rain, they know they're going to get water, but this really is a lot of water with a lot of damage this time around, and it really did frighten the families that live here. Again, 4 children having to be carried out by their dad on his back down the block last night, bringing them to a relative who took the children to higher ground while the parents stayed here. So again, that is the latest for Center Reach. We're going to be here at least for the next couple hours to bring you the latest.
So yeah, bad situation. And they also have Ed Romaine. So we're going to actually play this as well, talking about what happened last night.
Maine to talk about the declaring that state of emergency in Suffolk County right now,
So
and
there's a
just
state of emergency
what
in
looks
Suffolk
like
County.
horrible conditions in Stony Brook because of those road collapse. Ed, what can you tell us?
We're seeing very serious damage along the north shore of Suffolk County. Stony Brook will receive 9.4 inches of rain in a very short period of time. It's a once-in-a-100-year storm that is happening all too often. We have seen the mill pond in Stony Brook collapse, half of a house fall in. We're going to, across the North Shore, St. James, head of the harbor, all flooded out. Parts of Port Jefferson flooded out. So I am spending my time on the North Shore, bringing all the aid and assistance that we can. I've declared a state of emergency, and I've notified the governor's representative to ask the state for whatever help they can provide.
I mean, Ed, we're just looking at these wild pictures of shore of you see in Stony Brook as you are either headed to see or have seen of that road just
That whole
completely
pond
broken up.
drained out.
I mean, for some Long Islanders, they just got some rain. For these Long Islanders, their community was ripped up. It's almost unexplainable.
Yeah, it is incredible. We did not expect to get this amount of rain in this area. I saw the news yesterday. I knew that Fairfield, Connecticut, and other parts of Connecticut were getting it pretty hard. But originally, people thought that the storm would pass over Long Island and it wouldn't be that bad. But the North Shore, whatever was on the Connecticut side, drifted over the Sound, hit us real hard. We are recovering now. I declared a state of emergency. We're going to be asking for assistance for those homeowners that are affected and businesses that are affected. But we have road damage. We have a whole host of other damage to our culverts and other. So we're looking for as much help as we can get to put things back to normal as quick as possible.
Of course, declaring that state of emergency will help that, trying to help those business owners and homeowners, like you said, get extra help. Ed, thanks so much. Stay in touch and let us know if you see anything worse in that area. We'll be headed down there as well.
Thank you, and thank you for what News 12 does. A great job reporting, bringing us pictures of the scene. You've been super. Thank you, News 12.
Thank you, Ed. Thanks so much.
So that's not Suffolk County Executive Ed Romaine there. Really, he even knows what's going on. He admitted this is not normal. Even though he's a Republican, I don't think he's MAGA, and he gets it. He knows we're in some serious trouble here with the climate, and it's a really bad situation. I want to just go over and look at Smithtown. Let's see if Smithtown Patch has anything as well. We could take a look and see if we can see some more pictures here of what's going on. This is, I don't see any pictures there, of course. The patch not showing much of anything. But there is a lot of flooding going on out there. A lot of flooding. Let's see if we can go to some of the other TV stations here. State of emergency for Suffolk County after record catastrophic rainfall and road collapse. So New York City station's covering this as well.
Damage, all the reports still coming in this morning. Homes swamped, roads washed out, and we know now at least one person is confirmed dead. Also, we just learned officials in Suffolk County are about to declare a state of emergency there. It was Connecticut that really saw the worst of the storms yesterday, though. Some areas getting more than 10 inches of rain. 2 people were swept away in Oxford when their car was overcome by floodwaters along Route 67. One of them was found dead. The other one still missing as we speak. News 4's Gabi Acevedo in Danbury now with a closer look
we'll talk about what happened
at the damage in Connecticut,
well.
and it is a lot, Gabi.
Adam, the torrential rain
see the lights
sends
are
first
blinking as
responders
well.
scrambling to hard-hit areas, including here in Danbury, Connecticut, where roads became impassable. That was the case on Newtown Road, where we saw many drivers moving through flood zones near the Lime Kiln Brook. And in some cases, Adam, even going around police barricades, which officers advised not to do after some cars got stranded in high waters.
What happened with the car?
He's stopped, the motor stopped, so...
He tried to go through the flood zone?
Yeah.
No idea why the water.
You don't know how...
Because he's not living there, but I'm living there, but I know this water come up.
The rain also led to other dangers in Danbury, where emergency crews have been at the scene of a mudslide on Shelter Rock Road, with water and debris flowing onto the streets near the Woodland Hills apartment complex, which had to be evacuated.
So,
and just about 10 minutes from here in
hit.
Monroe, almost 10 inches of rainfall yesterday, causing severe damage in the area, with rivers overflowing its banks, resulting in some bridges collapsing and a massive sinkhole along Route 34 running between Oxford and Newtown.
That's insane.
Now, once we bring you back live here, it is important to keep in mind that even though the sun has come out and there is some drying effect and water has been receding from flood zones, there's still a lot of damage around. Live, Gabi.
Streets in Newark, Patterson, Passaic, the Garden State Parkway in East Orange even had to be shut down completely.
So
Look at that
New
scene
Jersey
right there.
also affected
in
by
Edgewater, one man and his wife had to be rescued when their car just got submerged in the water.
I came here. It was low, but the car stopped floating. Oh, my wife screamed too much.
Morgan County, floodwaters forced roads to close at Thorn as well. And right here, you're looking at video from LaGuardia Airport overnight. Passengers there. Whew. Right now, there are more than 800 flight continuing on team.
Significant delays because of the
flash
flooding and wind that Metro North had to completely suspend service from Danbury and Waterbury both ways. Now, when it comes to delays across the entire country on
yeah, I didn't even cover Suffolk County. Okay.
Is at a different
airport. Suffolk County in the
chart
thing, but apparently they're not talking about it. Well, whatever. At least that News 12 was talking about it, but you got to see what was going on in some of the other parts as well, because it wasn't just Suffolk County was affected. Connecticut was affected pretty badly as well. And I guess we'll go look at News 12 Connecticut and see what they have, because they didn't even cover this yesterday, and now they're covering it. You know, it took them. Yeah, this is. 2 women found dead following severe flooding in Oxford. So it has turned deadly in Suffolk and in Connecticut. Really, really bad situation. A really, really bad situation all around. It really is. And now we're going to talk about what we have to come, because we're not done yet, unfortunately. So let's go to the Storm Prediction Center first of all and see if they've still got us in that marginal risk. They have us in the marginal risk for severe weather today again. So we're going to look at some of the models and show you what we have to come later today, because we're not done yet. We still have to wait for this cold front to pass through yet. All right, let's go to the 16Z HRRR. And you can see some more showers and thunderstorms breaking out across the area tonight. It's not showing a line, and these storms will be moving, hopefully at a decent pace, but it's still going to, produce more rain. And you can see there, it doesn't show a line or anything, but right around the afternoon hours, we're going to see these storms. It looks like by 8 o'clock, the HRRR has most of them out of the area, but there could be some scattered storms again today. Throughout the area, it looks like. So that's the HRRR. We'll go and look at the NAM as well. So at least it's not showing a line, but don't be surprised if we do get a line, because we do have that risk. So if we go to the Weather Service, there is not a severe thunderstorm watch in effect. But again, looking at the radar, we see that there are a couple of pop-up showers and thunderstorms. And they're not in really a huge hurry either, so long as Seabrew's frontal boundary. Not a surprise there that we're seeing that. And, it's just more rain that we don't need today after all the rain that we've already gone through this morning and yesterday. That's not a good situation at all. So we'll have to just pay attention to the radar because you can see there's still plenty of activity out there. I'll go to the wider view here, and we'll look at what's going on here. So we still have some activity over here with the cold front. But we'll get this out of here by this evening, and we can enjoy some nicer weather, peaceful weather, while we recover from this disaster. I do want to just check public transportation before we are done here with this update and see if there are any delays here on the trains here. All right, it looks like there are delays, and the Port Jefferson Branch is part suspended due to flooding from the Nisququag River west of Smithtown. We are working to secure bus service. So there's flooding from the Nisququag River, and I think I know where it flooded out too. So all the trains are terminating at Kings Park, and right now this just happened. So the rivers are flooding now. It's going into, and we have delays on the Montauk branch due to a late train ahead. All right, that's not due to the storm, but really, all right. So we've got the Nisququag River flooding. I guess I should go to the Rivers and Lakes viewers. I didn't do that yet, so let's do that. And see what we've got going on here with our rivers and lakes, because we still have that flooding in Connecticut too. Unfortunately, Long Island, we don't really have any gauges along our rivers, so they're not going to show anything. They're all green pretty much. Let's see, I know there's one for the Carls. Let's see if this one will work. And it's not even working. Okay. So I don't see, unfortunately, any. I would imagine that the rivers are flooding. Let's see this one here. This is the river we showed you yesterday here at Brookfield. Still River flooding. Major flood stage over there in Connecticut. But as far as our rivers go, we don't really have any. We just have the Peconic River here. Let's just look at that one for a moment. That's in the tidal section. I don't see it flooding. But unfortunately, we don't have any other gauges on Long Island, unfortunately, for our rivers. We should, but we don't. But I'll just show you where the flooding is. So let's go to 511 New York and see if it's affecting the tracks. It may also be affecting some roadways, too. So let's see. We've got a bunch of closures here as well, so I should show you those, too. All right, so let's see. We still have flooding over here. Yep, still flooding in Comac. Or it's Elwood, and then we have Smithtown. We've got this whole road closed off here. Yeah, Route 25A closed off due to that collapse over there in Stony Brook. Unfortunately, there are no cameras, but yeah, this river right here, the Nisququag, is flooding the tracks, and the Port Jefferson Branch is now suspended as a result of that. That's going to all drain into Mill Pond. This actually is going to drain eventually down to the South Shore, I think, eventually down to some of the rivers down there, because the headwaters, the Connecticut is actually not that far away either. So, and we have a closure over here too. All right, we have another closure over here. Flooding on 25A eastbound. All lanes closed at Halleck Landing Road. So that's going to be affecting the 62 bus. Yeah, we're going to have to check that, too, see how if Suffolk County Transit's being affected by this in any way. So let's do that. Let's do that. Let me go back to the MTA here. Let's see what we got here. We still have suspended on the Danbury and Waterbury branches due to flooding as well. I don't know if they're running substitute buses. No, they're not running substitute buses. They should be. It's not right to just leave everybody stranded, you know. All right, Suffolk County Transit. Let's see if they've got any alerts. Usually they're pretty good with updating their website. Let's see. Let's go to the home page. Nothing. No updates here yet on them. But I'm sure that there are plenty of detours going on. We can see there is an SCT bus info for the Twitter. So let's see if we can, if they've updated anything there. Nope, they have not. So I don't know, but expect detours if you're riding public transportation, especially in Suffolk County, considering what's going on over there. So that's going to wrap up this update on the flooding disaster that we had, as well as Ernesto. And tonight, we'll do weather outlook. There's too much to do in one video, so we're splitting it up. And I'm sure we're going to have parks closed as well. If we go to Suffolk County parks, let's see here. No notice on any parks closed, but I'm sure that if you go to some of these parks around Smithtown, there's just going to be terrible flooding. So that's all for now. Thank you for watching.